Aaron stepped off the shuttle onto the docking platform, his boots making soft echoes against the metal surface. The space station was enormous, a circular sprawl of white halls, glass panels, and softly glowing walkways. It hung in orbit around a green and blue planet that humans had not yet named. This was the Galactic Coalition's diplomatic station, a hub where hundreds of alien species came together. Aaron's mission was simple: observe and report on the Coalition's activities, but nothing about this station was simple. As he moved toward the central atrium, he noticed the aliens all around him. Some had 4 arms, others walked on legs that bent in directions Aaron had never thought possible. Many had shimmering skin, some covered in fur, scales, or flexible armor. He kept his hands relaxed at his sides, trying not to stare too much. He had read about these species in the briefing files, but nothing could have prepared him for the reality. "Human Aaron, welcome," a voice said, melodic but firm. Aaron turned to see a tall alien woman approaching. She was striking even among the many extraordinary beings. Her skin was a soft shade of silver, and her eyes glowed faintly like amber lamps. But what caught Aaron most was her limp. One of her legs moved awkwardly, almost dragging, and her right arm seemed weaker than the other. "You are injured?" Aaron asked carefully, unsure of etiquette. She smiled faintly. "People don't want injured girls, do they?" she said. Aaron froze. Her question was simple, but it struck him deeply. He had not expected an alien to speak in such plain, almost sad terms. I don't think humans work that way," he said slowly. "We don't just discard people because they're hurt." Aaron felt as if she was examining his soul. Then she laughed softly, a sound like wind through metal chimes. "I am Salith," she said. "I come from a warrior species. Back home, someone like me is almost a burden." "That must be difficult," he said, "to be treated like that." "We care about each other, even when it's hard." The atrium opened into a vast meeting hall where representatives from dozens of species were gathered. Humans were a small minority, but they stood out by their ordinariness. No glowing eyes, no unusual limbs, no shimmering skin. Just humans in plain clothing looking like anyone Aaron might have passed on the streets back home. Salith whispered, "You are small. You are not strong like my warriors. How do you survive among so many?" She gestured to the towering, intimidating aliens. "Strong species." He wanted to explain more, but he knew this station was not a safe place for arguments. "Maybe not," he said carefully. "But the way we treat each other, that is our strength. You might not see it until you need it." Salith took a seat near the wall, careful not to strain her injured leg. Aaron noticed that she flinched slightly when one of the other aliens moved quickly past her, as if expecting criticism. He wondered how long she had lived under that kind of judgment. The briefing began, and Aaron listened closely. The coalition operated like a perfectly oiled machine. Ships were monitored, resources allocated, disputes arbitrated, all with precise efficiency. Humans were outsiders here, small, slow, and fragile compared to most species. But as he watched, Aaron began noticing something strange. While aliens barked orders, waved tentacles, or made complex gestures, humans quietly helped each other. One human tripped on a ramp and another steadied them. A third handed a data pad to a colleague who had dropped it. No one praised them, no one recorded it, they just did it. Aaron felt a surge of pride. "That," he whispered to Salith, "is what I meant. Strength isn't always what you see on the surface. Especially if it's someone others might ignore. Someone injured or weak or underestimated. We do not throw anyone away." Aaron and Salith walked toward the observation deck, where the station's massive windows offered a breathtaking view of space. Ships of every shape and size glided past, some entering, some leaving. Aaron felt a hum of life all around him, a network of civilizations so different from one another, yet all connected. "You humans are very strange," Salith said. "In my world, someone like me would be left behind. Here you notice, you protect. Not because you are fast or strong or perfectly built, but because you do not leave your own behind." A sudden alarm cut through the quiet. Red lights flashed along the deck, and a voice called out in multiple languages. Aaron grabbed Salith's arm. "We should see what's happening," he said. They rushed to a monitoring station where screens displayed the chaos. A transport ship had malfunctioned, and debris threatened to collide with the docking platforms. Coalition protocol demanded immediate evacuation, prioritizing only the most valuable individuals. Aaron saw officers moving to follow orders, calculating who would survive and who would be left behind. Salith's eyes widened. They will leave them?" she asked in disbelief. Aaron's jaw tightened. Yes, if we do nothing. But we don't have to follow their rules. Aaron watched as humans lifted, pulled, and carried beings who were heavier, slower, or hurt. Some humans had minor injuries themselves, but they refused to stop. Salith's mouth hung open. She had never seen such behavior. Injured humans, weak humans, humans who had every reason to think only of themselves, risking everything to save others. She felt a stirring in her chest, a strange mixture of awe and shame. This was power, she realized, not measured in arms or armor, but in courage, compassion, and determination. By the time the emergency passed, everyone was safe. The transport was stabilized, and the platform had survived almost intact. Coalition officers looked stunned. Orders had been ignored. Protocol had been broken. But no one could argue with the results. All lives were saved, including those of the injured and weak. Salith looked at Aaron, her eyes shining. I do not understand how you do this, she said quietly, but I want to learn. Humans are stronger than they appear, because we never give up on each other. For the first time, he understood that HFY was not just a slogan. It was a truth written into every human action, every choice to protect and care, even when the odds were against them. Salith followed Aaron through the winding corridors of the station, her steps careful, her injured leg forcing her to move slower than she wanted. She could still feel the echoes of what she had seen, the humans risking themselves for others, ignoring protocol, ignoring safety. Every step she took brought a mix of disbelief and awe. It was unlike anything she had known in her own warrior society. There, the weak were left behind. Here, the humans lifted the weak as if they were the most important. Aaron noticed her gaze lingering on a small group of humans helping a towering, scaly alien back onto its feet. He smiled gently. "You are thinking about what you saw," he said. "It was strange, wasn't it? Brave caring, that is strength too. The kind that shows when you protect someone else, even when it is hard, even when it puts you at risk. That is what humans do. Each has strengths, but our strength is that we care for each other. We adapt, we endure, and we do not leave anyone behind. We lift each other when we fall." For the first time, she felt a sense of shame, not for herself, but for her society. "And you do not think this is a weakness?" she asked. Aaron shook his head firmly. "It is our greatest strength. You cannot measure it with weapons or speed or muscles. You can only see it in actions, in choices. That is why humans survive, even when the odds seem impossible." Aaron led her to a common area where humans gathered. Some were injured, others tired, and yet all moved with purpose. They were helping aliens from every species, feeding, supporting, guiding, and encouraging. Salith could not believe her eyes. One human carried a limp alien child in their arms, while another helped a wounded alien engineer climb a flight of stairs. She watched them, her eyes wide, her chest tightening. They do not care about their own safety," she murmured. "Why?" For the first time, she felt hope rather than shame. Perhaps there was a place for her among these humans. Perhaps her weakness was not a curse, but a chance to learn something new. Just then, an alarm rang across the station. Red lights flashed. A ship had collided with debris near the station's outer dock. Coalition officers rushed toward control panels, calculating damage, assigning rescue teams. The humans immediately organized themselves, checking who needed help. Salith followed Aaron automatically, trying to keep up. In the docking bay, chaos reigned. Alien ships rocked as they tried to stabilize, injured crew members called for assistance, and a few panicked species tried to flee without orders. The Coalition officers began giving strict instructions. Only the most valuable individuals were to be rescued first. Salith froze, her glowing eyes narrowing. They would leave some behind. "Not if we can help it." He grabbed her arm and moved forward with the human rescue teams. "Come on, everyone matters." She had never seen such discipline paired with compassion. A young human stumbled under the weight of a large alien, and Salith instinctively reached out to help. Their hands brushed, and Aaron glanced back, smiling. "See, you are already learning. There is refusing to abandon anyone, no matter what." By the time the situation was stabilized, the station had suffered minor damage, but no lives were lost. Coalition officers were shocked. Humans had ignored protocol, risked themselves, and yet their actions had saved everyone, including those deemed unworthy by Coalition standards. Salith stood among them, her chest heaving. She felt a strange warmth, a mix of pride, wonder, and something she had not experienced in decades, admiration without judgment. How can a species so weak by your standards accomplish this?" she asked quietly. Aaron looked at her, his expression serious. Because we are never truly weak. Weakness is only what you call it when you ignore the heart, the will, and the choices we make. Humans endure because we care. We survive because we lift each other up. As the humans returned to their routines, she followed Aaron through the station, watching quietly. She noticed the small acts, a human helping an alien with tools, another carrying groceries for an elderly being, a pair guiding someone who could not walk properly. Every small act built a web of strength that she could feel but had never seen. I do not understand it fully, she admitted, her voice soft, but I want to. For the first time, she saw them not as distant points of light, but as places where humanity's influence could spread, places where compassion and courage could shape the galaxy. She realized that she wanted to be part of that story. Aaron glanced at her and said quietly, "This is only the beginning. The galaxy will test us. They will try to measure us by strength, by power, by rules. But we will show them that strength comes in many forms." And for the first time, Salith realized that humanity's greatest weapon was not its technology, its ships, or its weapons. It was something far more powerful, the refusal to leave anyone behind. Aaron placed a hand on her shoulder, steadying her. "Welcome to humanity," he said with a small smile. "The real lesson is just beginning." She had witnessed the power of humanity, and it had left her changed. As the station returned to normal routines, Salith followed Aaron to the briefing room. More challenges awaited, more lessons, more chances to witness humanity's unique strength. She did not yet know what the galaxy would throw at them next, but one thing was certain. She would face it with humans, learning to see strength in ways her species had never imagined. And Aaron knew, as he looked at her, that she was not the only one who would be surprised by humans in the days to come. The galaxy had not yet seen what humanity could do when they refused to give up on anyone. The station was quiet in the early hours, but Aaron and Salith both felt the tension that had begun to settle over the coalition observers. Humans had proven themselves in the minor crisis, but the galaxy was full of tests far larger than one docking accident. Salith could sense it, even she felt the weight of the unspoken scrutiny. Every alien species on the station seemed to be watching the humans, measuring them, judging them. Aaron led Salith to the observation deck again. Outside, ships of different shapes and sizes glimmered under the station lights, moving in precise patterns. "They are expecting the humans to fail," Aaron said quietly. "The coalition is not used to a species that refuses to leave anyone behind. Most would consider that inefficient. We measure it by what we do for others. Strength is more than power, it is action, courage, and care." They had fired on the station's outer docking bays, intending to capture humans and other species for ransom or experimentation. Coalition officers rushed to give commands, but their voices were drowned out by the alarms. Panic rippled through the station. Aliens scrambled to find safety, some rushing to the evacuation points while others tried to stabilize their ships. Aaron grabbed Salith's arm. "Come on, we need to help." They ran through the corridors, dodging falling panels and smoke from damaged conduits. Humans moved like a single organism, each person knowing instinctively who needed help. Aaron and Salith helped guide injured aliens to safety, patching wounds with the station's emergency medkits and using tools to stabilize broken limbs. Salith watched in awe. Humans with minor injuries carried others, while humans who had not slept for hours coordinated evacuation teams. She saw humans encouraging panicked aliens, calming them, guiding them with quiet authority. It was not strength in muscle, but strength in spirit, and it was far more powerful than any weapon she had ever wielded. A massive alarm sounded in the docking bay. One of the rogue ships had breached the outer perimeter, and a wave of energy tore through a nearby observation deck. Aaron grabbed Salith and pulled her back, just as debris fell where they had been standing seconds before. She stumbled, but he caught her, steadying her as her breathing quickened. "You humans, you truly risk everything," she whispered, her voice tinged with disbelief. "Even yourselves, even when it is dangerous." Salith joined them, realizing that her strength did not have to be perfect. She could help in her own way, and it would matter. The coalition officers tried to intervene, shouting orders to prioritize only the most valuable species, but Aaron stood firm, blocking their path. "We save everyone," he said. "All of them." That is how humans operate. The humans worked tirelessly, coordinating with the station systems, stabilizing damaged areas, and guiding panicked aliens. Salith moved alongside them, carrying a wounded engineer whose leg had been broken in the initial attack. The alien looked at her with a mix of gratitude and disbelief. She had never seen such care extended to one who was so weak, so injured. "Humans, why?" the alien asked quietly. "Why do you care for us?" Panic surged again, but the humans responded without hesitation. Engineers who were injured continued working, humans carrying the wounded while others secured critical systems. Salith found herself running toward danger to help stabilize a conduit that threatened to explode. She had never felt fear in this way. Instead, a strange sense of purpose surged through her. Aaron shouted instructions, guiding humans and aliens alike. "Do not stop. Every life matters. Keep moving." Humans had refused to abandon anyone, injured or otherwise, and in doing so had protected the station and all its inhabitants. Salith collapsed onto a bench, her chest heaving. She looked around at the humans and aliens, all recovering from the ordeal. I have never seen anything like this," she said softly. "Your species, your people, they are extraordinary." She did not feel weakness. She felt potential. Strength, she realized, was not just physical. It was courage, determination, compassion, and the refusal to leave anyone behind. Salith rose slowly, following Aaron as he guided a group of aliens to the medbay. She helped stabilize a wounded creature that would have otherwise been left alone. For the first time, she understood the true meaning of human strength. It was a power the galaxy could not predict, could not measure, and could not dismiss. After the crisis, the Coalition officers gathered to assess the aftermath. They were stunned. Humans had broken protocol, defied orders, and risked themselves repeatedly. Yet the results were undeniable. Every life had been saved. Injured and weak individuals, normally ignored, had survived thanks to human care and coordination. Salith stepped forward, surprising even herself. "These humans, their actions are remarkable," she said quietly, her voice carrying across the room. "I have seen warriors who would abandon the weak, soldiers who would leave the injured behind. But these humans, they lift others, even at great risk. This is strength beyond measure." Aaron stood beside her, proud but modest. "It is how we survive. It is who we are. Strength is not only in the body, but in what we choose to do, especially when it is hard." These humans were not extraordinary because of their physical abilities. They were extraordinary because of their hearts, their minds, and their refusal to abandon anyone. The days that followed saw Salith learning from humans in ways she had never imagined. She observed their teamwork, their improvisation, and their unspoken rules of caring for each other. Every small act reinforced the lesson she had seen during the crisis. Humans thrived because they lifted one another, not because they abandoned the weak. Salith began to see herself differently. Her injuries no longer defined her as weak or useless. She could contribute help and be valued, not despite her injuries, but alongside them. The humans had shown her a new standard of strength, one that went beyond muscle, skill, or survival instincts. Aaron watched her quietly, knowing that she had begun to understand something the galaxy had not yet fully grasped. Humanity's true power lay in their refusal to leave anyone behind, in their courage, compassion, and resilience. Salith had witnessed it firsthand, and soon she would carry that lesson forward, not as an outsider, but as one of them. As the station settled into calm once more, Salith looked out at the stars, her glowing eyes reflecting the distant lights of countless worlds. She thought of her home, her culture, her people, and realized that everything she had been taught about strength was incomplete. Humans had shown her a new way, a better way to measure worth, value, and power. Aaron placed a hand on her shoulder, steadying her as they watched the stars together. "This is only the beginning," he said. "The galaxy will test us. They will try to measure us by strength alone. But we will show them that humanity is strong in ways they cannot imagine." The galaxy was watching, and humanity had already begun to leave its mark. The calm that had settled over the station did not last long. Weeks of observation and minor incidents had given the Coalition a chance to see humanity in action, but no one expected the real test to arrive so suddenly. A massive cargo vessel from an unaligned sector approached the station without identification, moving fast and unannounced. Coalition sensors flagged it as a potential threat. Its trajectory suggested it could dock or collide, intentional or not, no one knew. Panic began to ripple quietly through the station. Aaron felt the tension in his chest. He had learned to expect challenges, but this was different. The ship was enormous, larger than most they had seen, with armored hull plating and multiple energy signatures that suggested it was not carrying only supplies. The coalition officers began issuing orders: evacuate non-essential personnel, prepare defenses, and let the humans observe from secure areas. Salith turned to Aaron, her amber eyes wide with apprehension. This is serious. This vessel, it could destroy the station. It was instinct, a lifetime of training from her warrior culture. But she remembered the events of the previous crisis and the lesson Aaron had shown her. She swallowed hard and followed him toward the command center. Inside the command center, alarms blared and monitors flickered. Humans, coalition officers, and alien specialists worked in tense coordination. Aaron quickly assessed the situation. The cargo vessel was moving erratically, its engines damaged but still functional. It could not communicate through standard coalition channels, and attempts to hail it had gone unanswered. "Humans, I need volunteers," Aaron said quietly to the small team around him. "We are going to board the vessel and find out what is happening. We cannot leave them in danger." Aaron, Salith, and 4 humans boarded, moving quickly through the docking bay. As the shuttle detached, the station trembled slightly. The cargo vessel had shifted, and debris from its damaged hull drifted dangerously close. The human pilot maneuvered with steady hands, avoiding collision while keeping pace with the vessel. The interior of the cargo vessel was dark and unfamiliar. Panels flickered, and the air smelled faintly of ozone and smoke. Aaron led the team cautiously, scanning for threats. Salith followed close behind, moving faster than she thought she could, carrying medkits and emergency tools. As they explored, they found signs of struggle. Crates were overturned, floors were scuffed, and small fires burned along the edges of the corridors. Humans moved with purpose, extinguishing fires, securing loose cargo, and checking on injured crew members they found along the way. Salith marveled at their coordination. Every human seemed to know instinctively what to do, how to help, and how to protect those who could not protect themselves. They reached the central chamber, where the surviving crew huddled together. Many were injured, frightened, and confused. Aaron stepped forward. "We are here to help. No one will be left behind. Everyone will survive." Because that is what humans do. We protect those who cannot protect themselves. Strength is measured by what you do for others, not by what you can take or destroy. Salith found herself assisting a crew member who could not walk, supporting them along the corridor. Her injured leg protested, but she ignored the pain. Every step reminded her of what she had learned from humans. Strength was not about perfection, it was about action. Suddenly, the vessel shuddered violently. A section of the floor above them collapsed, sending sparks and debris falling. Aaron quickly assessed the situation. "We need to stabilize the support systems or the whole deck will collapse," he shouted. Humans and Salith worked together, using makeshift supports and tools to prevent further collapse. They moved with urgency and coordination. Every decision mattered, every action saved lives. Salith had never felt so alive, so focused. She realized that humans thrived in chaos because they saw opportunity in danger, and they refused to leave anyone behind. Hours passed as the team worked tirelessly. The injured were stabilized, fires were extinguished, and critical systems repaired. The crew began to recover, reassured by the humans' unyielding dedication. Salith looked around, her chest tight with awe. Even the weakest and most frightened were being saved because humans believed they could. Aaron turned to her. "See, this is what I meant. Strength is not just muscle or weapons. It is courage, care, and the refusal to abandon anyone. Humans, they make everyone valuable." Back on the station, the surviving crew disembarked, thanking Aaron and his team repeatedly. Salith noticed that even those who had initially doubted humanity now looked upon them with respect. Humans had proven that their strength was not in physical dominance, but in unyielding will and compassion. Later, in the quiet of the observation deck, Salith turned to Aaron. "I understand now. Humanity's power, it is not weapons or armor. It is the choice to protect, the courage to endure, and the determination to lift others even at great risk. I have never seen anything like it. That is why humans survive and thrive." Humans had shown her that strength was not a solitary pursuit, but a collective force that grew stronger with every life protected. The coalition began to take note. Their observers whispered among themselves, recalculating their assumptions about humanity. They had underestimated a species that refused to leave anyone behind, that saw value in every individual, that could act decisively and selflessly in moments of crisis. Humanity had not just survived, They had set a new standard for what strength could be. Salith turned to Aaron again. I want to stay. I want to learn more. I want to be part of this strength. She was part of something greater, something that the galaxy had never fully understood, the unbreakable human spirit. The stars outside the station seemed brighter now, not just distant lights but symbols of the challenges ahead. The galaxy would test them again, push them to the limits, and try to define their worth by old measures. But humanity had already shown that they were strong in ways that no weapon, no algorithm, and no system could predict. Salith looked at Aaron with a new resolve. I will follow humanity wherever it goes. I will learn, endure, and act. I will carry this strength with me. Humanity has only just begun to show what it can do. The galaxy would remember this day, and the humans would continue to redefine what it meant to be powerful. Their victories were not just in battles won, but in lives saved, in hearts lifted, and in the courage to act when others hesitated. And as the station returned to its quiet routine, Aaron knew that humanity's story was far from over. The real tests were still ahead, and the galaxy would be watching. But humanity was ready, stronger, wiser, and more unbreakable than anyone had ever imagined. The station was alive with activity, but the air was heavy with anticipation. Weeks had passed since the rogue cargo vessel incident, and the coalition had begun to reconsider humanity. Whispers spread through observation decks, council rooms, and halls. Humans were different, unpredictable, strong in ways that defied measurement. Aaron walked beside Salith through the station's central corridor. She had grown comfortable in her new role, moving with confidence despite her injuries. Her amber eyes scanned the bustling hall, watching humans coordinate, assist, and uplift those around them. Every movement, every choice reinforced what she had already begun to understand. Humanity's strength was not in perfection or dominance. It was in compassion, courage, and the refusal to leave anyone behind. Do they truly understand us? Salith asked quietly. The coalition, do they know what we are capable of? Aaron and Salith followed the humans and aliens into the Grand Council chamber. Aliens from dozens of species filled the room, some glaring skeptically at the humans, others watching quietly, curious. The council leader, a towering being with glimmering scales and 6 eyes, spoke first. Human representatives, your recent actions have caused us to reconsider our assessments. You have repeatedly defied protocol, yet lives have been preserved. Injured and weak individuals normally left behind have survived. Explain yourselves. We did not abandon anyone, because abandoning lives is weakness, not strength. And it is our choices, our courage, and our actions that define strength. They protect, endure, and act for others, even at risk to themselves. That is strength. That is power the galaxy cannot ignore. One of the council elders, a broad-winged alien with shimmering feathers, spoke. And these humans, their methods work. Salith stood quietly, observing. She noticed humans quietly assisting one another even during the meeting, passing documents, helping a tired crew member adjusting medkits. Their actions were consistent. Their philosophy was not just words, it was behavior visible to all who watched. Finally, the council leader addressed the assembly. Humanity has demonstrated a kind of strength unknown to most species. They act not for glory, not for power, but for the lives of others. They survive and thrive because they lift one another. Their methods are unconventional, but effective. The galaxy had underestimated humans, not because of their size or technology, but because no species had anticipated a force driven by courage and care. Aaron and Salith returned to the observation deck. The station glimmered around them, alive with activity. Humans continued their work, quietly lifting others, repairing systems, and guiding injured aliens. Salith's chest swelled with pride. She had witnessed something extraordinary, the unbreakable human spirit displayed not in words but in action. Do you see now? Aaron asked softly. This is our strength. Every life we protect, every person we help, every challenge we face together, it all builds something greater than any weapon or armor. I never thought strength could be this. Salith followed their lead, confident in the process. She had learned that true strength was action, and humanity acted decisively and selflessly. The humans boarded shuttles and strategic points across the station. Aaron led one team, Salith another. Every injured alien, every vulnerable crew member was accounted for. Humans with minor injuries carried others. Exhausted humans refused rest until everyone was safe. Salith marveled at their endurance, courage, and unshakable focus. Hours passed, and the fleet of unaligned ships approached the sector. The humans and their allies prepared defenses, not only to protect themselves but to protect every life in the area. Eren coordinated with the coalition, improvising tactics and strategies. Every decision was made to maximize survival, not destruction. When the enemy fleet arrived, they were met with an unexpected display. Humans had fortified positions, evacuated the injured, and guided allies into protective formations. Injured humans still fought to assist others. Every act of courage inspired those around them. The unaligned forces, expecting weakness, found their opponents resolute, determined, and impossible to intimidate. Salith watched as humans lifted injured aliens, coordinated repairs under fire, and prevented catastrophic losses. Each time she thought the humans were overwhelmed, they adapted. Each time an alien faltered, a human appeared to steady them. Their power was not in weapons alone. It was in their unwavering refusal to leave anyone behind. By the end of the confrontation, the unaligned fleet retreated. The humans had not only defended themselves, but had saved countless lives across multiple species. Coalition observers were astounded. Human strategy was not built on force alone. It was built on humanity, resilience, and the courage to act selflessly. The council convened again after the conflict. Eren and his team, including Salith, were recognized not for individual heroism, but for the philosophy they demonstrated. Every life saved, every decision made for others, was celebrated as proof of human strength. Salith addressed the council. "I once believed strength was only in perfection, in power, and in survival alone. Humans have shown me otherwise. True strength is in courage, care, and action. Their species survives and thrives because they lift everyone, even the weakest. That is a force no algorithm or weapon can defeat." Humanity had redefined their understanding of power. They were no longer measured by size, technology, or aggression. They were measured by heart, courage, and choice. Back on the observation deck, Salith turned to Eren. "I have seen your strength. I have learned your ways. I will carry this with me wherever I go. My injuries, my past, none of it matters now. I am part of this." "You already are. Strength is not only in survival. It is in the choices we make. You have chosen to act. You have chosen to protect. That makes you one of us." Their story would be told across sectors, inspiring other species to reconsider what strength truly meant. Salith watched the stars, her heart filled with hope and determination. Humanity had proven that even the smallest, most fragile-looking individuals could shape events on a massive scale. The galaxy had underestimated them, but that would never happen again. Humans had left their mark not through destruction but through their unbreakable spirit. Eren placed a hand on her shoulder. "This is only the beginning. The galaxy will continue to test us, but now they know who we are and they cannot ignore us." She had witnessed the power of humanity and had become a living example of their philosophy. Injuries, weaknesses, and past failures no longer mattered. Humanity had taught her that courage, compassion, and the refusal to abandon anyone were the true measures of strength. Together, Eren and Salith gazed out at the stars. The universe was vast, full of challenges, danger, and uncertainty. But humanity was ready. Their strength was not in weapons alone, it was in heart, action, and resilience. They had survived the impossible and had changed the galaxy's perception forever. The humans continued their work, quietly lifting others, repairing damage, and preparing for whatever came next. Every life mattered. Every choice mattered. And in that moment, Salith knew that humanity's greatest victory was not over enemies, but over the limits of what the galaxy thought possible. Humanity had proven itself. The galaxy had witnessed their power, and their story had only just begun.